Hello everyone and welcome once again. In this video, we are going to continue with the chapter Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Well, before we start with the explanation, let's have a quick recapitulation of what we did in the previous video. So, 10th May 1994 was the day when Nelson Mandela took an oath in as the first black president of South Africa. After years of hard struggle, his anti-racist party came into supremacy. Until before, it was always the white presidents. Nelson Mandela referred to the day as Lovely Autumn Day. In the country's history, ever for the first time, umpteen dignitaries and international leaders came together for their inauguration ceremony. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre consisting of union buildings in the Pretoria city. So let us begin with the chapter, page 17. On that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter, Zinani. On the podium, Mr. de Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the Constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the Republic and its people. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said, today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which a humanity will be proud. We, who were outlaws not so long ago, have today been given the rare privilege to be the host to the nations of the world on our own soil. And now, the explanation of the text. The author was complimented by his daughter Zinani on his big day. Foremost, the two vice presidents took an oath. Thereafter, he committed to respect, safeguard, and abide by the Constitution and to dedicate himself to the welfare of the country. He also mentions some parts of his speech where he said that everyone, by his presence, was giving rise to hope for a new commencement. Earlier, leaders were biased and prejudiced and lasted for years. But the ones who are given the opportunity to rule now, African National Congress that is, would stand up against discrimination. Earlier, South Africa, for practicing apartheid, had lost all his international political relationships. Now, when there is no discrimination on the basis of race, gender, other nations are happy to have healthy democratic relationships. He is pleased to host a ceremony with the presence of international leaders in their own soil. And back to the text, the speech of Nelson Mandela. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. We have, at last, achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. Well, now the explanation of the text. He gracefully thanked everyone, especially the international leaders, for joining them in celebrating their achievement, which is a step towards an equal society where every human will be treated fairly. He mentions that after great struggle, they have finally achieved political freedom. His government promised to free everyone of the still existing poverty, hardship, and inequalities of all kinds, along with assuring everyone of a country where no community will be considered inferior. He then exclaims that freedom should rule and may God shower his blessings on their motherland. And now the new terms that we have encountered in the text so far. Deputy, that is second in command. Sworn means given under oath or determined to stay in the role that has been specified. Next is pledged, that means committed by a solemn promise. And confer means grant. Glory means honor. Outlaws means because of its policy of apartheid, many countries had earlier broken off diplomatic relations with South Africa. And the next term is possession, that means ownership. And dignity means the quality of being worthy of respect. And the next word is emancipation, meaning freedom from restrictions. Next word is liberate, meaning free or release. Next word, bondage, meaning the state of being a slave. Next word, discrimination, being treated differently or in a biased manner. The next word, deprivation, the state of not having one's rightful benefits. And the next word, oppression, meaning prolonged cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority. The next word is glorious, meaning having worthy of or bringing fame or admiration. And the last word is reign, meaning to rule or govern. And now some questions following the text. Oral comprehension check. Question number 1. At the beginning of his speech, Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster. What does he mean by this? What is the glorious human achievement he speaks of at the end? Question number 2. What does Mandela thank the international leaders for? And question number 3. What ideals does he set out for the future of South Africa? So, these questions has to be done in your notebook. Well, if you are interested in watching Nelson Mandela's oath-taking ceremony, then the following is the YouTube link of Nelson Mandela's oath-taking ceremony on 10th of May 1994. Well, that's all in this video. Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. The concluding part of the chapter will be continued in the next video. Thank you.